Good morning. It is 9:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. Hey, real quick, before we get the show started, we have a really good friend of the show and of Nashville's morning news celebrating a birthday today. Aaron, our friend on X, Wolf Babes. Happy birthday, Aaron. Hope you have the best day. I was talking to Dan before the Amigos segment. I said, Dan, we got to make sure that we wish Aaron a happy birthday. And you know what Dan said to me? He said, not right now. And I said, Dan, that's Aaron. It's Aaron's birthday.
It's Aaron's birthday. We got to say something.
We should do it during the Amigos. And he said, no, not now.
He's grumpy. He's grumpy at the end of the show.
I'm kidding. He actually busted in here. He said, right after we ended the break, he went, crap, I forgot to say happy birthday to Aaron. He said, will you please do it for me? I said, absolutely. Happy birthday, Aaron. Hope you have the best day. There's a lot of news to cover today, and we're going to do our best to get to all of it. Just for starters, immigration enforcement ramping up, and we're not even at full strength yet. Very excited to talk about that. There is going to be more violence. Tom Homan and his officers are prepared for that. Laken Riley's murderer is seeking a new trial. That is a story that is actually rather infuriating. We'll talk about that. I don't think that he should be seeking a new trial. I don't think that he should be breathing currently. But, hey, I'm not in charge of the justice system. But we'll talk about that. We'll also talk about Epstein, and we'll talk about amnesty for illegal aliens. It's been a big topic in D.C., amnesty. I mean, you probably missed it with all the Epstein conversation, but that's where we're at. So let's start with Epstein. Let's start with that. And I really do want to know what you think about these comments from the president yesterday. It was wild to see him step in it in such a way. And I truly, truly believe that Donald Trump absolutely stepped in it. Now, this case is so important to the base of Donald Trump. And I don't know if a lot of people understand just how important it is. In 2015, when the internet was being absolutely revolutionized and powered with meme magic and keck for Donald Trump to go up against Hillary Clinton, one of the big drivers behind that was the thought that there was rampant pedophilia with our elites and that it was being used for blackmail. And these conversations had been around for a while on the internet via topics like Pedowood and Pizzagate. And they were widely discredited as crazy, lunatic, fringe conspiracies. How could our elites be complicit in such rampant pedophilia? And then we find out it wasn't a conspiracy theory. There's actually a lot of evidence supporting it. And while some of the theories might have been a bit fringe, the core was actually very, very true. And it really woke a lot of people up. And it got a lot of people asking a lot of questions about the Clinton Foundation, a lot of questions about their ties to Jeffrey Epstein, a lot of questions about the trips on the Lolita Express. The internet was on fire in 2015 about this. That same internet turned into the Donald Trump MAGA base. So they're invested in this. We're invested in this case. There are a lot of victims. Thousands of victims. Thousands. And we still haven't gotten any answers at all. So as we're going along with this, and then we see the administration who we voted to put into power, who we were hoping and praying would bring us a resolution, it feels like they turned their back on us. It feels like they don't care. And these comments from Donald Trump yesterday, it seemed to stamp that in, that, guys, it's over. We're not going to learn about this, and this administration doesn't care. And it was really eye-opening, and I want to know your instant reaction on these comments from Donald J. Trump, 615-737-9986. A reporter yesterday at the cabinet meeting goes to ask Pam Bondi about the Epstein case, and Donald Trump intervenes.
Ask the Attorney General a question too, President. Sure. Your memo and release yesterday on Jeffrey Epstein, it left some lingering mysteries. One of the biggest ones is whether he ever worked for a American or foreign intelligence agency. The former Labor Secretary, who was Miami U.S. Attorney Alex Costa, he allegedly said that he did work for an intelligence agency. So could you resolve whether or not he did? And also, could you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape?
Now, before Donald Trump even interrupts, both of those questions are actually very, very legitimate. Did Epstein work for an intelligence agency? Are we covering for Israel's Mossad here? Are we? Is that one of the thought processes behind the scenes? A lot of people are theorizing that that's the case. The other question, why is there a minute missing from that jailhouse footage that you released? Both very legitimate questions that deserve answers. And Donald Trump says, actually, can I interject?
Yeah, sure. If
Hey, Pam, could I just interrupt for
Sure.
1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time, and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration, but you go ahead.
Seems like a desecration. I mean, this is big news. This is a massive story, a story that the American public has cared about for years and years and years. You released a memo saying there's no client list, case closed, nothing to worry about, nothing to see here. Yes, we're going to ask questions. You told us when you handed out the binders to the influencers that was phase 1 and there was more to come. And now we find out phase 2 is actually case closed. There's a lot of questions. There's a lot of questions. I think Donald Trump stepped in it there. I don't know if he's woefully ignorant to how much the base does care about this, or if he just wants to deflect and get away from it as quickly as possible. I think if it's the latter, and that's kind of what I'm leaning to, he could have done it in a much better way. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. And to demean so many people who want answers in this case, I think it's insane. That so many victims deserve justice in this case, and it's insane. The first time I heard that from Trump, I was just like, wow. For a guy that's so usually good in these moments, he screwed that up big time. Big time. And then it leads to the questions that everybody's asking on the internet. Well, does that mean Trump's involved? I still lean on the side that I don't think Trump's involved. I don't. Did he know Epstein? Sure. But I mean, we could relitigate this. We've done it many times during the original trial. Was it back 2009? The defense attorney or the attorney for the Epstein victims said the only member of the elite who was willing to talk to him and help was Donald J. Trump. But we can relitigate the fact that Trump kicked Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago for going after an underage waitress. We could do all that. I don't think Trump is involved. But is he covering it up to help an ally? I mean, that's a real question. Is he covering it up because of our own intelligence network's involvement? What was the CIA more heavily involved than we think? I mean, there's a lot of questions. I see a text from Sally. Trump just became a swamp dweller. I don't know if I'm willing to go that far, but it is wild. Ray in the borough, you're up first on Super Talk. What's up, Ray?
Yeah, I was going to talk about the Epstein case, and
Yes,
I think everybody's just pulling the strings a little too quick. You know, something gets said on the news, and everybody, he didn't tell us he was going to bomb Iran when he bombed Iran. He just happened to put it on the news. I think Trump's got the list. I think he's setting up the world elites, and I think somewhere around the midterms he's going to drop the bomb. That's what I think.
But it feels like we've been waiting for that bomb to drop for so long, and now that they come out and say there's no client list, move along. to say wait till midterms, it just feels like the whole QAnon, trust the plan, 5D chess.
Trump's a smarter man than that. He's not going to think that we're going to forget about that. I just think everybody's jumping the gun. Everybody wants it now. I think he knows what he's doing. I think we need to. Everybody has doubted him so many times, and then there's so many times people, they're just wrong. So I think he's not on the list, but I think he's going to do something drastic because he can't. We're not going to forget about this. He knows that. He's a smart man.
I mean, I hear you, Ray, but then at the same time, I hear these comments from Donald Trump yesterday.
U.S. Attorney Alex Costa, he allegedly said that he did work for an intelligence agency. So could you resolve whether or not he did? And also, could you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the night of the set?
Yeah, sure. If
Hey,
I
Pam,
could,
could I just interrupt for
Sure.
1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
Yeah. And personally, I don't know about you, but if you're watching on the stream, maybe you saw it. The body language totally shifted on Donald Trump when they mentioned intel agencies. I mean, he just got uncomfortable in his seat and kind of jostled around. I think the intel agency part has a lot to do with it. Betty in Hendersonville, you're next on Super Talk. What's up, Betty?
Hey, Chris. Well, I am sorry, but I strongly disagree with you and Dan. I think it is a timing thing with President Trump. I think the nuance of what he was saying, and I agree with him, his focus needs to be on the devastation that occurred down in Texas and some of these other pressing matters. Epstein is not going anywhere. It hasn't gone anywhere. It's not going anywhere. And I think he's going to address it in a timely manner.
Yeah, but Betty, what they did when they released the memo was they addressed the Epstein situation. So you can't say that they're going to address it in a timely manner post addressing the situation. They just addressed it.
Well, all I have to say is I agree with the timing about don't bring up Epstein when you're talking about the deaths of all these kids. I just feel as though it's not kosher. You know what I mean? I don't think Trump would ever cover up something that despicable. I just don't see that ever happening.
I hear what you're saying, Betty. I do, and I appreciate the call. But I have these comments from Donald Trump yesterday.
This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy?
Yeah, people are still talking about it. You guys released a memo saying case closed. Yeah, we're still talking about it. I understand there's tragedy happening in the world. There's always other news stories going on. And it's heartbreaking what's happening in Texas. And my prayers go out to them. I prayed for those girls last night. Now, I'll do it again, but we can walk and chew gum. They have a massive cabinet meeting. Pam Bondi has botched the Epstein thing time and time and time again, and the press had a chance to ask her a question. The press has every right to ask that question. And the American people deserve those answers to the questions. 100%. 100%. It's a timing thing. Okay. What? So they tell us it's case closed, but now we're supposed to say, oh, but they're going to drop a bomb come midterms. I'm not doing the QAnon 5D chess here. I'm not. I'm honestly, I'm really disappointed in all this. Bernie in Tullahoma, what's up, man?
Hello.
Hey, how we doing?
My name's Bonnie.
Bonnie. That was Mason's fault. What's up, Bonnie? What's up, Bonnie?
Well, for the people that's calling in thinking that maybe Trump knows something, they very well could be correct because the richest people in the world are the ones that are able to get out of bad situations, and they're known to cover stuff up. And I just also want to say, I know this is not regarding this, but Donald Trump has lied. He lied about getting the food prices down. And I voted for Donald Trump, but I would not vote for him again.
What do you mean? Well, but prices are coming down, Betty. Eggs have dropped 60%. We just got inflation numbers out, and inflation today is at 1.6%, which is unbelievable. But
may I say something?
Yeah.
I'm a peon, but I do have a voice.
I don't think you're a peon.
Well, I am, trust me. Hamburger meat at Publix in Tullahoma is like $11 and something for not the little tiny pack, but the one, I don't know how many ounces it is. But then they just raised the price to $1.40 for their little tiny milk that they have, and I'm not going to buy it, And I don't think the gas prices are coming down that much. They're $2.86 in Tullahoma.
I mean, gas prices are absolutely falling. I mean, we can go round for round on that, Betty. I appreciate the call. Prices are coming down. Are they coming down as quickly as you want? I guess not. Looking at you guys, I got a lot of calls to get to. John, James, Trevor, Karen, hang on the line, guys. We'll get to you on the way. And I'm seeing the text, too. 2796. Please stop talking about Epstein. You and all the people whom are so invested in this conspiracy have been had. It was never that important. It was fear-mongering, and you fell for it. Yes. Blackmailing the world's elites with their pedophilic tendencies. It's a nothing burger. Look away. These are not the droids you're looking for. It's 923. Super Talk. 99.7 WTN.
how would you like to have Jesus Christ pray for you? Did you know that Jesus Christ does pray for you if you're a Christian? Hebrews 7:25 says, "Therefore he is able also to save forever those who draw near to God through him, since he always lives to make intercession for them." In Scripture, intercession means to pray on behalf of. Jesus Christ is your advocate. An advocate comes to our aid or pleads our case to a judge, offering support and counsel and interceding for us when necessary. In other verses, Jesus calls the Holy Spirit our advocate. Just like you talk to yourself, when Jesus talks to himself, it's prayer. The Bible says no matter what you go through today, next week, or next year, Jesus is praying for you if you have trusted him as your Savior. He's on your side.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand, 927 Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. I just want to know, asking for a friend, how did we come to a place where I find myself agreeing with Jake Tapper?
While there might not be a list, there are certainly files that can be released. There's a trove of information that the Trump administration is right now refusing to share. Information that could well point to the powerful folks who availed themselves of the sex trafficking victims of Jeffrey Epstein. If you go, for example, to the FBI vault online, you can see that there are 22 files containing thousands of pages. Most of them are heavily redacted. Now, sure, of course, redact the names and identifying characteristics of the victims. But why not make the victim and witness testimonies public? As Julie Brown points out, there's still so much we don't know from the investigations by U.S. attorneys in Miami and in New York, witness interviews in the U.S. Virgin Islands and New Mexico. Brown writes that there's still more evidence that hasn't been published, including, quote, Epstein kept video cameras in most of his residences, and Epstein's autopsy, nor the report of the investigation into his death, has ever been made public. So while there may not be an official client list to be released, as the administration is now saying, there's a lot of extra information that is not being made public, despite Trump's Justice Department basically now saying case closed.
And I don't want to be here. I don't want to be in a position where I'm agreeing with Jake Tapper. But tell me what Jake Tapper said that was incorrect there. It's a tough sell. It's a tough sell. Karen in Fayetteville, real quick, what do you got on Epstein?
I'm just tired of hearing it, and I agree with President Trump 100%. That we have so many things to focus on, and you know what? The garbage we dealt with Biden and all the awful people that were in the government and what they destroyed, you don't know. Nobody really knows.
So if we
so
hey Karen, can I say something? But if we have elected officials who are on that Epstein client list, who have been blackmailed, who are then going to do the bidding of whoever's blackmailing them, that's not something to worry about?
If that's the case, yes. But you know what? Look at the crooks. You don't ever talk about Marsha Blackburn. $46 million she's made, and nobody wants to talk about it. And then we're going to have to vote for her as a governor because nobody talks about how she hasn't done anything about our immigration system.
I mean, nobody says that you have to vote for Marsha Blackburn.
Oh, yeah, because you know why? Because you guys don't talk about her, and then all of a sudden she knocks out everybody in a primary with her big bucks and good people. We've had good people run against her, but we never win because it's all money. And so here you are, and nobody thinks, you know, if you ask the average person about Marsha Blackburn, they go, oh, yeah, I see her on TV. Oh, yeah, she's done good. I go, what did she do?
She prevented Tennessee from having a state income tax. That's pretty based.
Oh, yes, that's number one. And that was, what, 25 years ago?
Okay.
30 years ago? And that's the only thing. And really, when you look at what she did has done in Washington, do you really wonder if she even had anything to do with the thing and who wrote her bill?
I mean,
it doesn't compare with what she's been doing.
I hear where you're at, but like I'm not like a Marsha Blackburn
Has she done
fanboy.
anything for your Epstein thing?
No, she hasn't. She hasn't.
Okay, so that's the part, and I know where you're coming from, but I'm sorry. We saw what happened with Benghazi and Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton. They should have been put in jail right away.
Yep.
And they weren't. And so we're going to spend all this time on Epstein when if we start supporting good people, they'll wash those people away. Those people, that's what Trump is doing.
But if we don't get to the bottom, of the blackmail ring, those good people are going to go into Washington, D.C. and then be devoured, and then be another instance of somebody coming in with a clean slate and then having blackmail put on them.
That's what Hoover did, right?
Yeah. J. Edgar Hoover did that. That's how he started the FBI. We have to get to the bottom of this.
Well, yeah, but not now.
Okay. If not now, then when, Karen? When's a better time for you?
When's a better time? When the president has taken care of the things that the Democrats have just destroyed. I'm sorry. To me, the biggest issue is this stupid transgendering little babies and children. It's sick, absolutely sick. And for somebody to actually think that that's okay. And but
you're trying to make me move off a topic where children were being abused by the elites.
You don't want to be off, but you know what?
Kids and women were being raped by very powerful individuals.
Being raped every day.
Oh, so we shouldn't talk about it. So we should just
have come across this border.
And I talk about that all the time. We're going to talk about Laken Riley here in a while.
You've done an excellent job on keeping us up on that kind of thing. But you know what? It stopped. All of a sudden, all we hear is Epstein. That's all.
Yeah.
And I'm tired.
But I feel like you're looking at the Epstein case like it's in this nutshell, and I think that this case spiderwebs and touches everything.
But the thing is that it's not going to change by all of us just, we're upset about this.
If there's one thing that I believe that the Trump administration does, it's listen to the base. And if people are going to make their voices loud and they're going to be upset about this, I do think he's going to be paying attention. I went way too long. My fault. 9:34 Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning, 9:34, and I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. So much for President Trump's efforts to issue peace between Russia and Ukraine.
Say this is a record-breaking attack by Russia, launching well over 700 drones and missiles across Ukraine. This is actually the third time in the last 10 days that we've seen Russia launch a record-breaking attack. This time, President Zelensky has said that Ukraine was able to bring down the vast majority of the drones.
That's ABC's Patrick Reevell reporting 2 members of the Putnam County Young Democrats have a court date scheduled for next month. Trenton Strode and Aaron Kofer were charged for disrupting the Putnam County Commission meeting last week. Strode denies rushing toward the stage in a threatening manner. He spoke to Channel 4.
Instead, I was intercepted by a Putnam County Sheriff's officer who deemed that I was a threat.
That pair were there to challenge the county's involvement with ICE operations to remove illegal immigrants. Vanderbilt University Medical Center recently paused genital mutilation surgeries for minors. Now, Nashville's Metro Council's LGBTQ caucus has issued a no confidence statement. Council member Olivia Hill saying that the medical center has turned its back on the transgender community. Hill is a biological male who dresses as a woman. Vanderbilt has also laid off LGBTQ outreach staff and withdrew medical support for the Nashville Pride Festival. A Nashville man has been arrested, charged with making non-emergency calls to 911. Police responded to calls from 37-year-old Troy Nicholson, who told police he needed cigarettes and no one would bring them to him. Detectives say he made that call 10 times over the course of a week. That is the latest news. Weather is up next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Are you tired of back or knee pain running your life? Well, listen up, because this could change everything for you. It's called the Big Daddy Trump Special, and it's from the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Just $12 will get you a full exam, x-rays if needed, a well-explained diagnosis, and your first treatment. And you heard me right. That's only $12. Dr. Mitchell and Dr. Ashley aren't going to give up on you, just like President Trump never gave up on America, and their patients say it all the time. Why didn't I come here first? Why don't other doctors explain things the way you guys do? This is a unique place, and you're going to find out firsthand. Back pain, neck pain, sciatica, numbness, bulging discs. They treat it all with non-surgical spinal decompression, robot lasers, and even anti-gravity machines. No surgery, no injections, no painkillers. So grab your MRI and get ready to finally understand your condition and then fix it. 615-246-5009. That's 615-246-5009. I'm Chris Hand. The Wellness Institute of Nashville has my seal of approval on this deal that could change your life. 615-246-5009. Painisbad.com. $9:41, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. You can listen to us anywhere, iHeartRadio, tune in the FM dial. You can watch us, Super Talk TV. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, personal favorites, YouTube. Hit like, hit subscribe, and watch the show. I didn't expect this topic to be so divisive. Have you seen the text line?
I haven't, but I've had a lot of conversation on the phone line.
People are calling me a D-bag.
Really?
I don't understand why.
I mean, I do, but what's their reason? I'm just kidding.
Exactly.
I'm just kidding. Totally kidding.
I thought people were going to be kind of in lockstep on this one. I didn't expect the diverging paths.
Yeah, so many people are wanting to move away from this conversation, and so many people are like, no. We need this information.
I don't understand.
It's wild.
I don't understand why we would want to move away, other than if you believe that Trump is going to be hurt by it. I don't think Trump is going to be hurt by this. So I'm just confused as to why he's shutting it down. Now, Mike Benz, who I happen to like a lot, I think he's a very smart guy. Mike Benz was on OAN yesterday, and he says that he thinks one of the reasons why Trump could be trying to shut it down would be conservative and MAGA donors being on that list.
I do think the intelligence theory explains this better than any other. In fact, it's really hard to account for the whole Jeffrey Epstein saga without the intelligence story thread connecting it all. Now, obviously, I think there are other considerations, donors. I don't think Trump himself was implicated necessarily, but I think that there are many conservative and MAGA donors who may be as well.
There may be many conservative and MAGA donors who could be implicated, and maybe that's why Trump is shutting it down. Does that get a pass from you? Because I don't think that gets a pass from me. I'm not a fan. I don't know if it's true. It's just another theory. And honestly, without information from the government, all we're doing is speculating, and all we're doing is theorizing. Is he hiding the list because of MAGA and conservative donors? I don't think we should be hiding the list because of anyone. There should be no sacred cows on the search for truth. None. And if that means that some of the guys that we like get caught up in it, so be it. Let the chips fall where they may. I don't want to move on. Steven wants to talk about Epstein. What's up, Steve?
Hey, man, I just got about 3 minutes or 30 seconds or less. You're driving a narrative just like the Dems do, almost. The way you're doing it, just like Alex Jones, Dinosaur, X-Hack, I look at and listen to all of that. And you just said it yourself, the people that might be in trouble from doing whatever they did or being involved, the conservatives, don't you think the Dems would have put that out there? I mean, don't you think that would have came out first?
Yeah.
You don't think that they're holding on to that crap?
But this is one of the reasons.
Narrative.
But this is one of the reasons why I don't think Trump is involved. Now,
so then why hold them accountable and then just see it like Jake Tapper's talking about? You said, and why you're going lockstep with people trying to break it down? It's like, come on, man.
I mean, well, what would the alternative be?
That you let them go through the processes of what they have to do, and you're saying a lot of things that
but they're telling us,
and it's just grown because we're just like that. That's the way we are.
But they're telling us that the process is done. They're telling us that the process is complete.
So, okay, then the Dems, if they had the same information, why didn't they do anything about it?
It's a good question. I don't have an answer for you. I mean, we can theorize and we can speculate, but do you believe?
Exactly.
But do you believe that there's no incriminating evidence of any elites in this country in any of the files that they have?
Oh, I think the Clintons were involved. Yes. I think that some people are getting protected. Yes. But who knows where those files are and where the information is that Trump and those people should have? Do you think it's all in their hands?
I think a good amount of it. I think like even like the deleting evidence theory, I'm not completely bought in on, because if Epstein ever sent a text message, it was intercepted by NSA. So I think that there's a lot of information that you could get with the power and the weight of the federal government that we don't have access to. And I think it's a tragedy that we're not getting it.
Well, there's 10 more topics that are more important than Epstein right now. I tell you that much.
I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true.
It is true. Why is it not true?
Because if you're having royalty hanging out with this pederast, You're having former presidents hanging out with this pederast. You're having rumored Supreme Court justices hanging out with this pederast. We're just supposed to pack it up and call it a day, without wondering. Like, but if it's a blackmail operation, and we all agree that it was, and you have all these powerful elites that are being influenced by this blackmail. Who has the blackmail now, and how are we doing the influencing? Like, I think we need to know more. We need to learn more.
But I don't think that it's that urgent that where you need to go all the way out and follow with the narrative so that we are besmirching what the progress that was made in the last week. It's all gone. Because all we're talking about is Epstein.
But
that's the way the news works.
But that's the fault of the Trump administration. That's not anybody's fault but the Trump administration. The Trump administration fumbled this from the jump. Pam Bondi bringing those influencers in and springing that phase 1 binder on them, implying that there would be a phase 2. That's the Trump administration that fumbled it.
I just don't think they had as much as they said they had.
I think there's a lot of the MAGA base that has the rose-colored glasses on for how the Trump administration fumbled this, and the Trump administration 100% fumbled this. Patrick Bet-David was talking about it the other day yesterday on Fox News. Make no mistake about it. This was fumbled from the jump.
The number one trending hashtag right now on X is Epstein. 2 million people have tweeted with the topic of Epstein. Number 2 is Nicki Minaj at 100,000. Comey's at 42,500. There is a reason why people are asking about this. This is by far, and I'm a supporter. 3 times I voted for this man. This is by far the biggest fumble of the administration they've had thus far, and here's the reason why. If you remember the president winning, he had a conversation with Fox News, the great Rachel Campos Duffy, and she asked, Mr. President, 9/11, yes. John F. Kennedy, yes. Epstein, he didn't say yes.
I remember that.
He was a little bit hesitant of bringing that information out. Why? So why does his leadership team go out there and are like, we have this information and we're going to release this and cash? And let me tell you what we have with Pam Bondi out of the state of Florida. She knew everything about Bondi, about Epstein. Why are you fumbling this? Why are you not having an emergency meeting together to conversate and say, hey, we're going to be on the same page with messaging on this. All you have to do is send a message to everybody, say, God, let's have a conference call. Here's what we're going to be saying about this, because this was a very important issue to not 80% of the voters that voted for President Trump, but I think 20% of the voters wanted to know what's going to happen with Epstein, and it's a big letdown.
The only thing I disagree with Patrick Bet-David there is at the end where he goes, I don't think 80% of the voters care about this. I think it's about 20%. I think that's criminally low. I think that a lot of the base cares about it. 60%? 60%? I think that's close to the truth. John in Springfield, you're next on Super Talk. What's up, John?
Hey, Chris, I think you're on the right track. I'm going to push back a little bit, though, and say this isn't about Trump. And it's not even about Epstein. It's about trust. The American people are basically being told, don't ask questions and don't expect answers.
It's true.
And that's dismissive,
and all of this is coming from an administration that told us that they were going to be the most transparent administration ever.
Right. Yeah, but I think it goes beyond even Trump. It's kind of indicative of a deeper institutional rot that, if we can't even demand transparency when children are trafficked, and as you've pointed out, I think quite eloquently, elites are being protected, then what can we hold our government accountable for?
Yeah, exactly. You're absolutely right, John, and I appreciate the call, man. 615-737-9986 if you want to join the conversation. I just think it's a big story, and I think that its tentacles reach out and touch a lot of different areas, and we need more information. Aubrey in the borough, what's up?
Hey, Chris, just want to say a couple of things. First of all, term limits would stop a lot of this stuff that we have going on, but also, as a mother of 3 children, I am absolutely appalled. I am a Trump supporter. I have voted for him 3 times. I wrote to my children yesterday and told them, I said, family and friends both have asked me about my devotion, if there would ever be anything that would cause me to doubt support for him. And this is it, because I have lost hope and faith in him of showing accountability to these children that have been abused. They are they deserve so much better than this.
Amen.
And regardless of whether it's been closed, as they say, there are still people that are guilty that need to be held accountable.
Amen.
And there has to be a way to do that, whether we know it as a public or not. It has to be that these children deserve justice. They really do.
I am with you 100%, Aubrey, and I appreciate the call. You are going to be judged as a society by how you treat its most vulnerable. And right now, the Trump administration is dropping the ball on this. There are monsters out there that were involved with Epstein who are walking free today. And we're supposed to say, case closed. Let's move on. Why are we still talking about that creep? No, I don't think we do. We got a lot more on the way. 615-737-9986 if you want to join the conversation. But to me, I think that they know that they're in a bit of hot water here. And I think that the news story that we got yesterday that the FBI is launching an investigation into John Brennan and James Comey, I think that was timed very strategically to try and save face. That's a story we're definitely going to be talking about here today on the Chris Hand Show. Real quick, though, Trevor in the borough, you're next on Super Talk. What's up, Trev?
Hey, Chris, I'm honestly tired of hearing about the Epstein case because everybody says timing. What about the victims that were in that case? It's time we find out who did the mess.
Yeah.
I don't care who it is, Republican, Democrat. We need to see what's going on. This is ridiculous. We were promised it, given it, told we were going to get it, and we ain't got nothing. And apparently, a lot of people don't care about the kids because the kids are the ones that suffered, and they're not getting any justice.
It really blows my mind that a lot of people are like, move on. We're winning. We got so much winning going on, and I'm like, guys. Like we can talk about
grass.
If
he wants to drain the swamp, this is it. This would start the drain
100%.
because it's going to get a whole bunch of people. That's what he's talked about. That's what we were promised. Give it to us. Let us vote them out.
Yeah.
But you've got to tell us what's going on. We've got to know.
100%.
If you keep holding it and telling us to forget it, I voted for him. I'm questioning it right now because to me it seems like he's backstepping at the moment and turning into a politician.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I hear where you're coming from. I'm not doubting voting for Trump, and I'm not discounting the wins that we've had. All I'm saying is that we can talk about gas prices until the cows come home, but thousands of kids were raped by global elites for a blackmail operation. It's a pretty big story, is it not? 954, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, and it is vacation season, and you don't want to let a plumbing disaster ruin your peace of mind while you're away. And right now, Busy Bee is going to take care of that for you. They're offering a smart Wi-Fi water shutoff valve installed by their expert techs for just $12.49 this July only. That's serious peace of mind at a great price. Maybe you're looking to upgrade your comfort at home. If you buy a new HVAC system from Busy Bee this month, you'll get a free air duct fogging and UV light home treatment because clean air matters. And here's more. Buy a middle tier air duct cleaning. They'll upgrade you to the deluxe package for free. That's how Busy Bee takes care of its problems. If you got big plumbing problems, $1,000 off full home water and drain line replacements. You need a repair, book some service, they'll waive the dispatch fee. And Busy Bee is making it so easy. 0% financing for 18 months with approved credit and payments as low as $100 a month on HVAC replacements. Call Busy Bee today, 615-775-7833, 615-775-7833. Online, busybeehvac.com.
Good morning, 10 o'clock. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. We're at 80 now, and it's cloudy. We do have a chance of some thunderstorms, and the details coming up right after the news. The President Trump is losing his patience with Vladimir Putin, and now the Russian leader is stepping up his pressure on Ukraine.
Russia launching its largest aerial assault on Ukraine since the start of the war. Ukrainian officials say over 700 drones were launched, but most were shot down or intercepted. It comes as the Trump administration is now preparing to resume U.S. weapons shipments to Ukraine as the president grows increasingly frustrated with Vladimir Putin.
That's ABC's Rachel Scott. An update on that second man accused of attempted assassination on President Trump. CBS News reporting that 2 people have now been charged by the DOJ with selling a rifle to Ryan Routh. Their names are Tina Cooper and Ronnie Oxendine. They're accused of selling Routh that Chinese-made SKS rifle for about $450. That was apparently the gun Routh pointed through the bushes at Trump's golf course 6 weeks later. He was not allowed to own a firearm after a criminal conviction. Afton Bain wants a new job. The Democrat state rep has announced she'll run for the 7th congressional district seat left open by the retirement of Congressman Mark Green. State Reps Jody Barrett and Bo Mitchell are also making a bid for that seat. Barnard College has settled a lawsuit that accused the school of not doing enough to keep Jewish students safe. The all-women's affiliate of Columbia University has agreed to ban masks at protests and to refuse to meet or negotiate with a coalition of pro-Palestinian student groups. Students and staff will also be schooled on the school's zero-tolerance policy. In Philadelphia, the heat and rotting trash is making the city of brotherly love unbearable.
The smell is just very terrible.
Now, a strike with unionized trash collectors is finally over.
This has been going on. The strike lasted for 9 days. They were initially in negotiations over the course of 12 hours before they came to this deal. So once again, it's 3 years, a 9% raise over the course of that 3 years.
AB's Corey Davis there, but the final deal falls far short of what the union demanded. There's trouble in Xville. Breaking just this morning, Linda Yaccarino, who served as the CEO of X since Elon Musk bought that platform, is stepping down. In a post on X, she said she's grateful to Musk for entrusting her with protecting free speech and turning the company around, but she didn't explain why she's stepping down. It may be time to take charge of your kids' eating habits.
Concerning data from the CDC shows 1 in 3 teenagers now has prediabetes. With prediabetes, blood sugar levels are high, but not high enough to be considered type 2 diabetes, which is linked to heart disease and other conditions. Health experts say kids need to eat healthier and be more active.
That's ABC's Allison Kosick. That is the latest news. Weather's up next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
It's 10:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name's Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC. You can listen to us anywhere, iHeartRadio, tune in, the FM dial. You can watch us, Super Talk TV. We're live via video, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, personal favorites, YouTube. Hit like, hit subscribe. Jump inside the red-pilled YouTube chat.
Got a surprise for you on that.
Well, hang on one sec. I gotta wish our YouTube friend Snark a happy birthday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Snark.
Happy birthday, Snark.
She's always in the YouTube chat dropping bombs.
Much appreciated for sure.
What do you got?
We're on Rumble now.
We're on Rumble now?
We're on Rumble now.
When did that happen?
Yesterday afternoon. It's a soft launch. We're on Rumble now.
So we're live on Rumble right now?
We're live on Rumble right now.
Oh, my gosh.
Isn't that cool?
I like that.
I'm a big fan of that.
That's based. I didn't know we were live on Rumble.
Based. Yeah, it's pretty cool. We just got the account back yesterday after it being a little... it wasn't suspended. It was just non-active. And so we're back and we're rolling.
So did it get shut down because it wasn't active?
Yeah.
But we're back on Rumble.
We're back on Rumble.
Dude, that's actually pretty dope.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Again, a soft launch. We're getting everything set up for everybody so that way you can actually enjoy the content that's over there. We're trying to get it to our YouTube channel standards and everything as well, like we are everything else. We're on Rumble right now.
I mean, I'm trying to find it. I can't find the channel.
Again, it's a soft launch, so working out the kinks. It might not be able to...
Is it not searchable?
Maybe. Well, I'll see if I can pull it up.
Yeah, it says no channels found for me. See if you can find it. I think a lot of our audience would prefer to watch us on Rumble.
Probably.
Just because of YouTube and the censorship and all the things that come with that.
Yeah, it's under 997 WTN, no spaces.
997 WTN, no spaces on Rumble.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they just do Super Talk 99.7 WTN?
I don't know.
Consistent across all the platforms.
Again, we're looking at fixing a lot of stuff up so we can get everything changed up.
Moving on.
Listen, I'm trying here.
All right, and I don't want to. I do want to keep talking Epstein for a little bit. We have quite a few people waiting on the line to weigh in with their opinion. If you want to weigh in with yours, 615-737-9986. We'll do it for one more segment, and then I definitely want to talk about what's going on in the Laken Riley trial, as well as what's going on with immigration enforcement and Tom Homan. But up first, we got Bobby in Nashville. What's up, Bobby?
Hey, Chris, how's it going, my friend?
Good, man. How are you?
Hey, man. First thing I'd like to say, if you're moving to Tennessee, I was on my way down there to Nashville from Murfreesboro. If you can't drive, you don't know what a blinker is, just stay in the state that you're in, brother. I mean, but anyway, let's get on to Epstein. Do you actually think they're going to release any names? You know, I watched Pam Bondi yesterday during Trump's the little thing he had on TV.
Yeah, the cabinet meeting.
And it was very interesting. But man, she was like, we looked and we decided there's nothing to do with Epstein, you know, and all this stuff. But look, there's too many names up there, you know, in the Congress. The movie, I mean, man, it's just so many big names in there. They're not going to release that, brother. And as far as him supposedly committing suicide, I would never believe it, man. What's your take on it?
Yeah, I don't think he committed suicide either, and I'm never going to believe it. I also don't have any hope that these names are ever going to come out, and that's kind of what pisses me off the most. Pat in Clarksville, you're next on Super Talk. What's up, Pat?
Well, hi there. On this Epstein situation, kind of followed it for quite a while. However, right now in the present, I feel as though doing an investigation, it's not a big deal to me that the world needs to see this, or everybody in the country, because what has happened with all of the other investigations, nothing. Nobody's been received any consequences for anything. So if they want to investigate, fine. But personally, I'm not rubbernecking this one. I mean, really, at this point, go for it. But I don't think we're ever going to hear anything, and it's a big waste of money.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I hear you. Appreciate the call, Pat. And then you see news like yesterday, FBI launches investigation into John Brennan, James Comey over Trump Russia probe. And it's like, okay, we're not supposed to be hanging on to the Jeffrey Epstein story where powerful elite world leaders were being blackmailed by some intelligence agency. Don't keep talking about that. However, on the flip side, let's go back to Russiagate. Now, listen, I do believe that Russiagate deserves to be investigated and that individuals involved in it, James Comey, John Brennan, should be held accountable. I'm not making that argument. The argument I'm making, though, is that the Trump administration is saying, why are you looking back at Jeffrey Epstein? While at the same time saying, let's look back at Russiagate. And we got this news yesterday. I think the timing was very convenient because of all the heat that is down on the DOJ and the FBI currently. And then this story drops in our lap. The Federal Bureau of Investigation has launched an investigation into former CIA Director John Brennan and former FBI Director James Comey over their roles in the investigation surrounding President Donald Trump and Russia allegedly colluding. Department of Justice sources told Fox News that John Ratcliffe, CIA Director, had allegedly referred evidence of wrongdoing by Brennan to FBI Director Kash Patel and added a criminal investigation into Brennan was open and is underway. CIA Director John Ratcliffe referred that evidence of wrongdoing to Brennan to FBI Director Kash Patel for prosecution. The report of Brennan and Comey reportedly facing criminal investigation comes as Breitbart News reported that Brennan may be exposed to perjury problems after Ratcliffe had released an internal CIA review of what is known as the intelligence community assessment regarding the claims that Russia had tried to influence the 2016 presidential election between Trump and Clinton. In a post on X, Ratcliffe explained that report and said that the report underscores that the 2016 IC assessment was conducted through an atypical and corrupt process under the politically charged environments of former Director Brennan and former Director Comey. Now, listen, I hope that this all gets flushed out, and I hope that they're held accountable. But why are we allowed to look back at Russiagate? And that's totally fine. We're allowed to look back at the election of 2020. That's good too. But don't look back at Epstein. It's time to move on from Epstein. Dave in Hendersonville, what do you got?
Well, I was going to ask you, I voted for Trump 3 times.
Yep.
Epstein is not one of the reasons I voted for the guy, but I was going to ask you, and I understand the children. I understand he's a monster. I didn't really keep up with it all that well. My question goes like this. I listened to this Jamie Raskin, and he's wanting everything released on Trump. Or, Adam Schiff, these guys go in their little skiffs, they come out, they lie, they know what's in there.
Yep.
Am I right or wrong?
No, you're absolutely right. Yeah, Schiff was claiming that he had evidence on the Russia collusion stuff for years.
Yeah.
Yeah, he never had any. Yep.
My question goes like this, and again, I'm sure you've heard this, but I haven't kept up with it. If the Democrats have had this for 4 or 5 years and Trump is in there, why didn't they say something?
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, listen, I don't think Trump's on the list, and I appreciate the call, Dave. I don't. I don't. Was there some interaction between Trump and Epstein? Yep, there was. Epstein had interaction with a lot of powerful people. But we can go back to the attorney Bradley Edwards, who represented 70 Jeffrey Epstein victims, said Donald Trump was the only one that helped him. We can go back to Donald Trump kicking Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago. We can go down the list. I don't think Trump is involved. Mike Benz, cybersecurity expert, was on OAN yesterday, and he said, well, maybe they're doing this to protect some high-level conservative and MAGA donors.
I do think the intelligence theory explains this better than any other. In fact, it's really hard to account for the whole Jeffrey Epstein saga without the intelligence story thread connecting it all. Now, obviously, right. I think there are other considerations, donors. I don't think Trump himself was implicated necessarily, but I think that there are many conservative and MAGA donors who may be as well.
Now, if that's true, that's slimy. Again, are there going to be Republicans caught up in this? Should a list of names be released? 100%. They should be held accountable as well. Everybody should be held accountable. Let's go to Steven on the road. Thanks for holding, Steve. What do you got?
Hey, man, we're still stuck in this what-if room, I guess, and I love hearing everybody's opinion. And I think you just put the icing on the what-if cake for me, talking about the Brennan Comey being under investigation right now. So this is a really high-level deal that we're witnessing right now. So, but if you go to the what-if box here and you say, what if? Okay, because we know CIA is like masters of espionage and blackmail. That's what they do. And there's not a lot of people involved in this if it's going to come out. There's only going to be a few people at the top, which are going to be the Clintons or Bill Clinton and whoever else, there's going to be the Brennan and the Comey guy who's going to be responsible. Anybody under that, CIA operatives that have been carrying out these hits, these false suicide hits on anybody who's going to come forth, is going to be probably never brought out. But what if Trump and whoever he has investigating this and Pam Bondi administration, what if they're saying, well, we don't think we're not going to be able to get anything out of them on this Epstein stuff. So let's go ahead and get what we know we can get them on. Let's get them in and see if we can get them on this charge first. And then maybe something will come out later on, but I don't think they'll ever give up what they know. And if there was a list and there was names in there and things were written and rewritten and added to it, I'm sure a lot of things were covered up and a lot of names were taken out, or what have you. But I'm just hoping that, maybe they know they're not going to get them on this, but maybe we can get them on something else. Maybe something will come of that.
I guess. I don't know. It's a tough talk. It's a tough call. Maybe they don't have any evidence, but then why would they come out and say that there's no evidence at all and that the case is closed? I don't know. Maybe you're right. Let's go to Peter on the road. What's up, Pete?
Hey guys, I love the show. By the way, I'm a very stern Trump supporter, but miracles has been performed here in the last couple of weeks with President Trump at the helm. Getting bills passed and stuff, and I'm just wondering, what about we have the Epstein information, and let's use that to bend some of the other politicians to confirm to our ideas. And pass the big beautiful bill, even though they didn't want to.
So that's definitely a theory that I've had. Maybe they have the intel, right? They have the blackmail, and they realize that it's more valuable in their hands.
Valuable, exactly.
Okay, so I would phrase this to you then. If that was the case, do you think that that's acceptable?
I do not think that's acceptable. But looking at world leaders, I can almost say they don't have a lot of dirt on Putin because he just does what he wants. And nobody retaliates. Nobody gets really stern with him. He just keeps on throwing 378 drones out there, trying to kill everybody in its path. So, maybe look at that and be like, okay, so maybe they don't have dirt on everybody, but they do have dirt on some people. Now, it's not acceptable to use that. I think the guilty by association theory, I'm an immigrant, of course, you can hear that. But, if I hang around with criminals and rapists, I can expect to be called a criminal or a rapist or be deported.
Yep.
Now, if I hang around in someone's private jet, fly to his island, hang around, fly back, meet with him, have business dealings with him, am I not then also guilty by association?
Yeah, I think that there's definitely a line in the sand with Epstein, right? And the line in the sand is going to be when he was convicted of the original crimes, which I think was between 2012 or 2017. I'm blanking on the actual date. But there was a point in time where he was convicted. Anybody that continued to do business with him after that point, a la Prince Andrew, Bill Gates, and the like, then yes, you can absolutely make that claim. The individuals that were around Epstein before the conviction, I think you do have some plausible deniability there.
I agree with you 100%. But getting back to the point, if you were associated, and I think they should maybe have an external party, maybe somebody with money, do the digging and see what they can find. Because if there's any digital form of videos and stuff, that stuff cannot be deleted ever.
Yeah.
It stays somewhere.
100%. If he sent a text message, if he had sent a text message saying politician A is meeting girl B for a massage, that would have been captured by NSA.
It's captured everywhere.
Yep, 100%. 100%.
Love the show, guys. Keep it up. Thank you.
Hey, appreciate you calling in, Pete. Thanks so much. It is 10:21. My name is Chris Ham. We got a lot more on the way. Hang out with us. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
what Joe Biden's doctor just did in his appearance before Congress. Also, the Trump administration is taking legal action against California. We've got those stories coming up here at 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Joan Jones. 10:25 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners. If you need those, you just say Oakley Dokley and you go to betterwater.com. What are you laughing about? What are you laughing about?
Oakley Dokley. That's good.
Yeah. I just came up with it off the top of my head.
It's pretty good. You should get an advertising. Oh, wait.
Did you see that in the YouTube chat?
No, I didn't, but that's cool.
I was scrolling through and somebody said, Chris, if you actually read the chat, work Oakley Dokley into the show somehow.
Incredible.
I was like, challenge accepted.
Please give more challenges.
I'm not
See
afraid.
if we can sneak it in.
I'm not afraid. It's, people with the QAnon stuff, they said that Trump was in on the QAnon because he used the word tippy-toppy. like the Britney Spears on Instagram, they'd be like, if you're in trouble, touch your nose. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, she touched her nose.
She's in trouble. All right, we got a lot to get to. A couple of people want to still weigh in on the Epstein stuff. We'll clear out these calls. What's up, Leroy in Flintville? What do you got?
Hey, I was wondering, what are the qualifications for getting on the list? Everybody's using the word client, and if we use that word, that's going to expand to, did they ever do business together? Did they ever talk on the phone?
Yeah.
Did you have to land on the island to be on that list?
I think you would have to have feet on the ground on the island, and I'm of the opinion that you would be on video doing some of these nefarious things because, as we all learned, every room in Epstein's homes were wired for audio and video.
Okay, thanks for your time.
Yeah, man, appreciate it. Let's go to Joseph. What's up, Joseph in Nashville?
Hi, Chris. I was thinking about a caller or two ago, changed my thought a little bit, but it said something, and you asked, do you think that's okay if they thought that it was better used in their hands? You know what I'm saying? And no, I don't think that's okay. But then again, when I think about America and the condition that we was in and where we were headed, I'm sorry, I know this might sound contradictory, but I would use anything to protect America. And for right now, whether I would want the Democrats to take this thing to where my children don't even have a country, yeah, I would rather President Trump use whatever he had to take this country back to where it needs to be so that we've got hope for this country to continue. So, no, I don't think it's okay, and I think it should come out, and I believe it will come out. I think that President Trump may have felt like he had bought some trust among supporters to that he could deflect, because I believe it's gone into an investigation for indictment on some people with some of the things that they've found. And I believe now you can't talk about those things. He can't go into those things, and he doesn't want to reveal that there's an investigation going on, that it's going to turn into an indictment and some things. And we've already had Cash Patel and them say, hey, just wait for what's coming. Things are going to happen. But now I believe he's been told, hey, you need to lay back. You can't talk about these things. It's an investigation now. Do you want to tell people everything, or do you want to have some indictments? Do you want to?
But you're jumping to a lot of conclusions here, because you're saying, in your mind, you're theorizing that there could be still an investigation ongoing. Yet what we're being told publicly is that the case is closed.
Well, the case would be closed as far as what he's trying to tell us about revealing names and this, that, and the other thing. But as far as an investigation, he can't say that it's closed. Cash Patel would have to say that it's closed as far as a criminal investigation. Is that not correct?
I mean, yeah, or Pam Bondi, yeah, one of the two. But I feel like, but that's what the memo was.
So Pam Bondi, okay. So then it's not as far as just revealing to the people. It's more like it's okay. That's weird. Well, yeah. I don't know. I really don't know. But I just honestly, he is obsessed with satisfying MAGA supporters. I cannot believe that he would do this, as smart as he is. I just believe that he felt like he had bought some trust among us after so many wins that we would say, hey, the man's smart enough. He's not, give him some time. because I know they wouldn't indict and do anything before the midterms, because we need to flip this thing to the point where Democrats can never do all this ridiculous stuff anymore. And we've got to get enough ahead, just shut them down. If we can do the same thing we did with Trump and get enough, just show them that we're done with you. We're done with you. There's not enough of y'all in Congress.
Yeah. No. I mean, I'm picking up what you're putting down, Joseph, and I appreciate the call, man. I really do. I would just say that if they're worried about timing when it comes to the midterms, then you reel in your team and you don't bring it up. Like Pam Bondi brought a lot of this to the forefront on her own. Pam Bondi brought the binders to the influencers without the expressed written consent of one Susie Wiles. Pam Bondi was in hot water for doing that. If Trump had a handle on his team, we wouldn't have found ourselves in this position in the first place if they were still investigating. But what that memo told us is that the Trump administration says case closed. Now, do I think that we're not in a better position with Trump than we would be with Kamala? Like, yes, of course we're in a better position with Trump than with Kamala. Yes, we're putting a lot of wins on the board, a lot, and it's huge, and I'm here for it. But as a massive Donald Trump supporter, I have to call out the BS, the bovine scatology when I see it. And all I see from this Epstein stuff is suspect. The whole thing, top to bottom, stinks. And we should have every right to call that out. It's 1032, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
Good morning, 10:30. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. President Joe Biden's former White House physician has just pleaded the fifth, saying he will not cooperate with the House Republicans investigating Biden's health spiral while in office. Dr. Kevin O'Connor is his name. He invoked doctor-client privilege in this morning's appearance before the House Oversight Committee. The Trump administration announced this morning that it's suing the California Department of Education and California's Interscholastic Federation over Title IX violations. The administration wants the court to stop the state from allowing males to compete in women's sports. On Monday, both of those groups sent letters to the White House denying the administration's demands. New legislation introduced in Congress yesterday would give the Department of Defense the right to repair its own military equipment. That's a policy that could save the Pentagon money and time. Right now, only defense contractors can make those repairs. A 19-year-old Nashville man about to undergo his seventh surgery in 2 weeks after being hit by an ambulance while crossing Murfreesboro Pike. WSMV4's Steve Mailing says a GoFundMe has been started for Travis Crutcher.
Crutcher was attempting to cross Murfreesboro Pike on June 22nd. He waited for the light to turn from green to yellow, then began to cross after one car stopped and waved him on. Crutcher claims he didn't see the ambulance coming and had his headphones in. The report says the NFD ambulance was going 45 miles an hour.
That report also says the driver of the ambulance claims Crutcher darted across the intersection right before he was hit. And shares of the chip-making company NVIDIA jumping more than 2% on Wall Street. It made it the first company ever to top $4 trillion in market value. NVIDIA has profited heavily from the growing demand for AI hardware and chips. That is the latest news. Weather's up next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Weather can change in an instant, and you need to be prepared for any outcome. That's why Generator Supercenter of Nashville will help keep your family safe and connected. We make buying a backup generator simple and easy, with financing options available, free in-home estimate, turnkey installations, no worry warranty, and most importantly, the monitoring and service of your fully installed generator. Come see us at our location in Nashville or visit us online. Generator Supercenter of Nashville. We serve all Middle Tennessee.
1038, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. You can listen to us anywhere, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, the FM dial. You can watch us, Super Talk TV, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. Hit like, hit subscribe. Appreciate it when you do so. I was trying to find us on Rumble. I couldn't find us. I'm having a tough time.
I'll check with our lovely tech team and see what we can do.
Perfect. We're talking about Trump. We're talking about Epstein. I hope it's important to, and I don't know why I have to clarify this, but Trump has had a lot of wins, right? Like, Trump has done amazing work in 6 months. I'm not done trusting Trump to help the country. But this is a big issue, the Epstein stuff. It's a huge flub. Huge. Just on down the line. How they've handled it, how they're handling it currently, it's a mess. That doesn't negate everything he's already done.
Well, it's just going through a list here, Mr. President, and I think the Vice President's pointed out to the great team you have, and all these achievements that have happened domestically. But you think about it, under your leadership, we prevented and ended a war between India and Pakistan. NATO's now at 5% for the first time ever, the highest numbers ever. A peace deal between the Democratic Republic of Congo and Rwanda. A 12-day war that ended with an American operation that we're the only country in the world that could have done. Hopefully, pretty soon, a peace deal between Azerbaijan and Armenia. The entire Middle East and the infrastructure of it has the potential now to change because of Syria and Lebanon, and it hasn't even been 6 months. True. It hasn't even been 6 months, so it's a great testament to your leadership in this thing.
Yeah, and I mean, Rubio's talking about global foreign policy affairs, but you can go down the list on Trump's wins. The economy's been a massive win. The one big beautiful bill coming in, making those tax cuts permanent is awesome. No tax on tips, no tax on overtime. You can look at what's been happening in education with Education Secretary Linda McMahon with the Title IX advances, with how they're pushing to keep boys out of your girls' locker room and off of the sports team. Huge wins. Huge wins. We can go down the line. It can't be negated how amazing Trump has been in 6 months. Did he flub the Epstein stuff? Yep. Is he still crushing? Also true. And I guess we're going to have some trade announcements coming in today. Donald Trump announced this last night on Truth Social, saying that they'll be releasing a minimum of 7 countries having to do with trade today, with an additional number of countries being released this afternoon. Thank you for your attention to this matter, is what he put on Truth Social. That we're going to see more of these trade deals coming in, and the leverage is all on Donald Trump's side. And he said, Howard Lutnick was on CNBC yesterday. He said, well, if the other countries don't want to negotiate and come to terms on a deal, well, then Trump will be the one setting the terms.
So you saw 14 letters went out yesterday. You should expect another anywhere from 15 to 20 letters to go out over the next 2 days, really setting down tariff lines for the key driving countries. And then we'll set out a general letter to the balance, sort of setting out where they're going to be. The president is setting these tariff lines. The president is driving this agenda. This is his agenda. He knows how he wants to play it, and that's what's happening. So we'll be setting those tariff rates, and then they go into effect on August 1st.
And listen, if Trump doesn't feel the offer is strong enough, he's going to set those rates himself, and nobody negotiates better than Donald Trump. And the negotiations have been ongoing. Peter Navarro gave an update on the trade negotiations and how Donald Trump is doing those on Fox Business yesterday. And Peter Navarro is one of my faves in the Trump administration. I think he's doing a fantastic job.
The letters that went out, coupled with a couple of deals which are pending with like Vietnam, we actually get good coverage on almost 90% of the trade deficit that we have with the world, because that trade deficit's only with about 15 countries settled. Right, all the other countries we can do better with and reduce and improve our trade situation. But we're in a good place now, and we're collecting billions upon billions of dollars. They're going to help pay for the big, beautiful tax cut, which, by the way, we can do maybe another segment sometime, is actually going to reduce the debt by several trillion rather than increase it. So what I can tell you about the Trump's trade policies, it's going very well for the American people.
It's going very well for the American people, and we're bringing in record tariff revenue. Scott Bessent was talking about that yesterday. We're going to be, he said that we could expect to be closer to $300 billion in tariff revenue by the end of the year, which is pretty amazing.
We're taking in about $100 billion in tariff income thus far this year, and that's with the tariff, the major tariff not having started till the second quarter. So we could expect that could be well over $300 billion by the end of the year. We don't agree with CBO scoring, but for those who do, the CBO scored tariff income over the next 10 years at $2.8 trillion, which we think is probably low.
And I think that's low. Let's go. And, you know, they told us that the tariffs were going to cause inflation. Actually, the U.S. inflation index has dropped to 1.66%. How about those experts? How about the experts? Trust the experts. I think it's officially time to cut those interest rates with inflation falling as much as it has. Those numbers, fantastic. But Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick continued on trade negotiations, and he says, wait until you see us at full strength. What we're doing with these countries is opening up the markets to American businesses, and that's clutch.
Well, we're definitely in the 8th or 9th inning with these counterparties. So what's happened is many of these countries have made us offers to finally open their markets. You know, they go slowly, they go with it, and then finally they come to the table at the very end and they start to open their market. And the key is the president wants to balance our trade deficit with the fact that these countries are finally opening the market. And if you have something like Vietnam where they say, okay, we'll really open our markets, then the president decides, okay, this is the rate we'll do. If you're really going to open your market to our farmers, to our fishermen, to our machines, to our tools, to all of these things going into their country, then okay, if you're going to give our people that opportunity, I'm willing to cut that rate, which he did with, obviously he did it with the UK, he's done it with Vietnam. My guess is he will do it with a few other countries. But basically, if they don't really open their market and they come with these half-baked or a little bit here and a little bit there, the president's saying, look, we've got these huge trade deficits. It's time for you to pay the tariff to trade with the United States of America. Unless you're really going to open, that's how it's going to be.
And again, it's important to point out that this economy, as we're seeing it right now, is not even at full strength yet. All the fear-mongering, all the hand-wringing, we're not even at full strength. Voltron hasn't formed. I mean, you can say the same about Border Patrol. The mainstream media fuming, absolutely fuming when it comes to the mass deportation plan. And we haven't even hit peak strength yet. The left is hitting peak insanity. We're seeing that with the ongoing targeting of immigration officers. We saw 2 instances in Texas, July 4th and July 7th, where officers had been ambushed and fired upon. Those officers have been charged, and if the left is mad about deportations, again, much like the economy, we haven't even gotten started yet.
Saturday, June the 14th, 3 people were arrested for attacking officers with knives and fireworks in Portland, Oregon. Friday, the 4th of July, police officers shot in the neck at an ICE facility in Alvarado, Texas. And then Monday, July the 7th, 3 law enforcement officers injured in a shooting at a Customs and Border Protection facility in McAllen, Texas. From January 21st to June 30th, total assaults against federal agents numbered 79. That's a 690% increase year over year. What do you think, Paul, is behind this?
Well, I think, number one, a lot of the dangerous rhetoric that the Democrats are talking about and people on the left, there's a lot of misinformation. They're calling our agents thugs. They're going after them. They're not only protesting but attacking them. And it's due to the recklessness on the part of these people on the left. And it's going to get some people killed.
He's absolutely right. That's National Border Patrol Council President Paul Perez on Fox News. The rhetoric from the left is going to get people killed. And I would just point out, again, if they're this mad now, wait until you see them in 6 months when we're operating at full strength. I mean, the money that's coming to Border Patrol and immigration enforcement is massive. It's bigger than most countries' militaries. And the left is already getting violent. Already. Wait, we haven't even seen this hit mass hysteria yet. Tom Homan was talking about the shooting suspects in the Texas case, and he kind of gives a wink and a nod to the fact that this was Antifa targeting the Border Patrol agents.
What do you make of the organization and sophistication level of this, and what are you doing to protect your agents in light of these attacks?
Well, look, unfortunately, Martha, I said over 2 months ago, I said on your network, numerous networks, I do a lot of interviews, I said over 2 months ago, if the rhetoric continues against ICE agents and Border Patrol agents about being compared to terrorists, like Congressman J. Paul did, being compared to Nazis and racists, that it's going to end with a use of force, that either a criminal is going to die or an officer is going to die. I've seen this recipe before. I knew it was coming, and I don't think it's over. And look, this is a well-planned attack, as the person said, and we're investigating on the connections between the Texas incident and the incident in the Alvarado facility, the two incidents of Border Patrol and ICE. There are some connections, but I'm not going to get in the middle of that criminal investigation. It's ongoing. This is a well-planned attack, and it's because of the rhetoric. These nuts that want to take it beyond protesting to criminal activity, they're getting rhetoric from the members of Congress, the senators who compare ICE to the Nazis, and Congressman J. Paul compared to the terrorist organizations. So these people, these fringe groups, feel emboldened. If a member of Congress can attack ICE, why can't we?
He said the member of these fringe groups, they're emboldened. Again, I think he's giving a wink and a nod to the fact that Antifa is behind some of these attacks. And if you look at the mugshots of the individuals that were arrested in that ambush of Border Patrol agents, they look like Antifa. I don't want to categorize them, but they look like Antifa members. And that was in Texas, those two ambushes. He winks and he nods to Antifa there. And he also says they're going to be ramping up in Antifa Central. Tom Homan says he's heading to Portland. Portland, I don't know if you've been paying attention. Portland has been an absolute dystopian hellhole since all these immigration riots kicked off. Tom Homan says, yeah, we're going there next.
Trump, a new sheriff in town, yourself, Tom Homan. These mayors are helping to foment the violence, and you can't listen to them. Nobody should listen to them.
No, not only that. I'm going to head to Portland. I'm going out there. They're not going to bully us or you know, we're going to do the job. We're going to do it in Portland too. But for the mayor of New York City and Chicago, President Trump made it clear 2 weeks ago. We're going to double down and triple down on sanctuary cities. Yes. Why? Not because they're blue. Because we know there are recent public safety threats to the streets every day.
Yep.
Like Florida, we agree with all the sheriffs in Florida. They're taking our detainers. They're not releasing illegal alien public safety threats. They're calling us. So we could spend less resources in Florida and send them to New York, to Chicago, and to Portland, and L.A. We're going to double down and triple down on sanctuary cities. If we can't arrest a bad guy in the jail, then we'll go to community and we'll find him.
I'm here for it. Tom Homan is not backing down. He's going to ramp up operations in Portland. He's going to ramp up operations in L.A. He's going to ramp up operations in New York and Chicago. A lot of those mayors are pushing back. Mayor Brandon Johnson had some comments. So did Mayor Karen Bass. I'll bring you those comments when we return. It's 10:52. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friend Shane Ring over at Cover Nash. And if you are tired of paying too much for health insurance, you're not alone. And you're not alone. Somebody can help you. Shane Ring can help you. He's helped many, many people save a lot of money on their health insurance. And there's a new plan on the market that could bring your deductible down to just $250. Not $5,000, not $8,000, just $250. The best part about it is you don't have to wait for open enrollment to switch and start saving money. It's one of the biggest misconceptions about health insurance. I got to wait till open enrollment. You don't. You can call Shane and start saving today. See, Shane's been doing this for over 20 years. He's going to shop the entire market, over 75 different companies. He's going to find the best fit for your budget and your health needs. So it doesn't matter what's going on in your life. If you're self-employed, between jobs, or just plain old overpaying for coverage, Shane can save you 30 to 60% on your monthly premiums. Stop overpaying. Call Shane Ring today, 615-465-0023. That's 615-465-0023, covernash.com.
A federal judge scolds the Trump administration, and the death toll in Central Texas has risen again. Those stories coming up here at 11 o'clock on Supertalk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Joan Jones. 10:57 on Supertalk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. We were talking about immigration enforcement. We're not even at full strength yet. I mean, the money is starting to flow, right? I think the money's starting to flow, but just wait until we hit maximum strength. Wait. The liberals are going to lose their mind. They're already losing their mind. I mean, we see the response from these mayors in Chicago and in Los Angeles. Got to look out for the Angelinos. Got to look out for the Angelinos, Mayor Karen Bass. You know, somebody's looking out for the Angelinos. That big operation that they had the other day in Los Angeles, MacArthur Park. Tom Homan actually said on Fox News yesterday that that operation got leaked. It got leaked. And that's a bit infuriating because I thought we were past that. Whoever leaked the operation should be held accountable. But you know how it is with accountability these days.
But one thing I want to talk about, when you mentioned that we're getting beyond the worst of the worst, actually we're not. But like the MacArthur Park, you covered with Mr. Hilton, why were they there? Because MacArthur Park is a staging area for alien smuggling activities, which is a felony. And if you want to buy a fake green card or a fake Social Security card, you go to MacArthur Park. That's been like that for decades.
Do you think those people got a heads up because it was cleared out by the time they got there?
Then the operation got leaked.
Yeah.
The operation got leaked. Find out who leaked it and then string them up. Put them behind bars. Throw the book at them. Like, enough of this nonsense. You're putting these officers in a completely dangerous situation that they don't need to be in by leaking these operations. You got to get a handle on the leaks, like 100%. Before somebody loses their life, please get a handle on the leaks. Find and prosecute them. Find and prosecute them. That's what we need. That's what we need. And in L.A., man, it's dicey. There's Bill Malusian posted this photo. Here, see if we can get it up on the screen. You got some Los Angeles Antifa members, Trantifa members. They are using homemade spike strips now. Look at that. It's just, I mean, it's a bunch of nails through what looks like a piece of wood. They're trying to impede Border Patrol agents with homemade spike strips. Meanwhile, Karen Bass, she goes on MSNBC last night, and she tries to say it's her job to protect the city of Los Angeles. Yeah, I'm not making it up. Except when it's on fire, then she's allowed to go on vacation, right? And except for the Angelinos who are being terrorized by illegal aliens, not them. She means protect the illegals. I'll bring you Karen Bass's comments when we get back. It's 11 o'clock. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. It's now 11 o'clock. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. We're at 83 degrees and mostly cloudy right now. And we may see some storms later today. Stick around for the forecast coming up right after the news. Another legal victory for the Trump administration to report. A federal judge allowing the Justice Department to rescind nearly $800 million in grants for programs that support violence reduction and crime victims. The administration saw the grants as unnecessary, saying battling crime is the job of law enforcement. The judge allowed the cancellation of the grants, but called the action shameful. Yesterday, the Supreme Court sided with the Trump administration in its efforts to downsize the government. ABC's Devin Dwyer.
Now, that order by the president had been challenged by unions, nonprofit groups, local governments. They said it was unconstitutional, that only Congress can approve the restructuring of the federal government. But this was an 8-1 decision, essentially saying that the order itself to begin planning to restructure the entire federal government is okay. But the court was careful to say they take no position on the actual plans, so legal challenges could still come.
Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, the only dissenting vote. Former CIA Director John Brennan and former FBI Director James Comey under criminal investigation now for potential wrongdoing related to the Trump-Russia probe, including allegedly making false statements to Congress. Josh Holmes is co-host of the Ruthless podcast, speaking to Fox News.
Trip down memory lane. It was Brennan himself who was the one who was pushing then Speaker Ryan and then Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, to try to issue a statement before the 2016 election alleging Russian interference on behalf of President Trump. Now, obviously, they refused to do that.
Sources describe the duo's interactions as a conspiracy. In Central Texas, an update this morning on the search effort that's underway there. Officials saying that more than 170 people remain unaccounted for, and the death toll is now at 119. Jonathan Lamb of the Kerrville Police Department with a heartbreaking request.
We know that folks are beginning to clean up, and we have large debris piles. And we ask them not to use heavy equipment to take down those debris piles until they've been checked by a search party, because it's possible there are victims in that debris pile. And we don't want to disturb that.
Those officials also urging residents to shelter in place and to avoid areas of destruction. Dow Jones Industrials right now up 87 points. That's the latest news. We've got your weather up next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
It's 11:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? My name's Chris Hand. You can find me on Twitter, True Social, and Instagram. All of them are the same, at Chris Hand on air. Hit the follow button. I will follow back. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC. We love those guys. We've been talking about immigration enforcement. The left is big mad, and we're not even at full strength. Just wait. Just wait. The tears that are going to be coming from the left are going to be salty and delicious, and we're going to be here to enjoy them together. Tom Homan was talking about operations getting leaked. The MacArthur Park operation, that's a big MS-13 area in California, Los Angeles. He said the operation got leaked, and I'm like, we got to get a handle on that immediately, right? We can't have the officials inside the administration leaking things out. We need to get rid of those deep state actors because we're already up against the radical members of the left who are doing anything they can to protect the illegal alien criminals in our country. Enter Mayor Karen Bass, who she went on MSNBC and she said it's her job to protect the city. And I'm sitting here wondering when that's going to start.
I mean, last I checked, all of us work for the American people. And so, as I said, I am the duly elected official here to represent the city, and it is my job to protect the city. I was not interfering. It is my responsibility to ask, what are you doing here in this park where nothing is going on? Why are you grabbing people off the street, making a lot of people believe that kidnappings are taking place?
Oh, my gosh. It's the people that are being disappeared. It's the kidnapping. No, you're here illegally and you're being removed. Why were you in that park? Tom Homan explained it perfectly. He said that park, MacArthur Park, is a hotbed for illegal immigration activity. It's a staging area. You need to get yourself a fake green card, you go to MacArthur Park. You need to get yourself a fake ID, you go to MacArthur Park. Why were you there? That's where the illegal aliens are. Why are you here? Because your city is a sanctuary for illegal aliens. Why are you grabbing people off the street? Because you won't let ICE go into your jails and get them there. I mean, it's also tiresome, and we explain this over and over and over again. I don't know how you could explain it to her any more clearly, yet here we are. Mayor Brandon Johnson over in Chicago, Mayor Brandon Johnson, his city's falling apart, and he's going on record now saying that the local police in Chicago will never cooperate with ICE. It's like, dude, are we serious here? I wonder how the police officers in Chicago feel about that.
Division. Look, we are a welcoming city ordinance. Our local police department will not ever cooperate with ICE.
I mean, that's great. Cool. What a tough guy. I mean, it's not going to make your city safer, although it's Chicago, so I don't know if anybody would notice if it's a little bit safer. I don't know if it's still drastically unsafe. But he's on the record saying my police will never cooperate with ICE. Let's ask the police officers. Do you think that rank and file Chicago PD wants to keep rearresting the same illegal alien over and over and over again? Because that's what these police officers are doing. And they release him, and then they arrest him again, and then they release him, and then they arrest him again, and then they release him, and then they arrest him again, and then finally they do something just vile and dastardly, and they're not going to release him. But it's insane. It's insane. Leadership over at the Democrat Party, and I say leadership because I do think that this guy is poised to be one of the leaders for the Democrat Party. He is one of the leaders for the Democrat Party. Gavin Newsom, he was talking about the illegal immigration, and he said he said that we need to push back against cruelty. Western Lensman caught this on X. We need to push back on cruelty of deporting these illegal aliens, and then Gavin Newsom, he kind of fake cries in this video. He gets the little crocodile tears.
It's a day like today. I want folks to know we have your back, and we'll continue to come back and do what we can to protect our diverse communities, to protect the spirit that defines the best of this city and our state, and to push back against this cruelty. To push back against this cruelty that is being perpetuated by the President of the United States.
Oh yeah, Gavin Newsom. You know what that one needs, Mason? Can you cue up a little sad violin for me? I feel like that needed some sad violin.
It's a day like today. I want folks to know we have your back.
Oh yeah,
and we'll continue to come back.
That hits.
And do what we can to protect our diverse communities.
Oh yeah, hits the nail on the head.
Protect the spirit that defines the best of this city and our state, and to push back against this cruelty. To push back against this cruelty that is being perpetuated by the President of the United States.
That sad violin always hits, doesn't it? It's just, the sad violin remains undefeated. It really does.
It almost sounded like he knew it was there.
Yeah.
His pacing fits a little too well.
It's like, yeah, it's too clean. It's too clean. We need to push back against this cruelty. Our city is so diverse, and diversity is our strength. Part of that diversity is, of course, gangbangers and terrorists and illegal aliens and human traffickers and drug traffickers. But that's what makes us Angelinos. That's what makes us strong. Don't you understand? Don't you understand? We wouldn't be as strong without them. Wow, you have a lot of sad violin in there. Like,
yeah.
How long is the sad violin?
Oh, it's long. I made sure because these Democrats they like to whine a little bit. But,
yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I thought that was enough.
Thank you.
For all our sakes.
So while Gavin Newsom is summoning crocodile tears, we're focused on alligator tears. And Alligator Alcatraz, they're handling their business. They got some fresh faces. A lot of individuals going to Alligator Alcatraz. DHS was showcasing a few of them. You'll see their mugshots there on the screen if you're watching on the stream. But Alligator Alcatraz getting some fresh face. We call them newcomers. That's what we call them. But they're called the newcomers to Alligator Alcatraz. These guys are the worst of the worst. These are the individuals that the Democrats are defending. You have individuals charged with child rape, charged with murder, homicide, sexual assault of a child, more. Do we need to defend these individuals? These are the types of people that are making Los Angeles such a diverse city. Yep. ICE isn't stopping. They're just ramping up. Over in Colorado, they've detained 1,300, and I say good. I don't know if this is real or fake. I got somebody said it's a news clip from Alligator Alcatraz. Some guy called in from Alligator Alcatraz, and Eric Doherty on X posted this, and it looks like a legit news clip, but I don't know. You tell me. It's a guy from Alligator Alcatraz. Okay, you tell me if this sounds legit or not.
Soy Leansi La Figura. Leansi Izquierdo on the phone describing what it's like inside the so-called Alligator Alcatraz. Says he's been at the detention facility out in the Everglades since Friday. Aquí no hay agua para uno bañarse. No water to bathe, he says. It's been 4 days since he showered. 400 people he believes are inside the facility. Te dan comida una sola al día, comida que ha traído hasta gusano. Only gets fed once a day, he says, and some of the food had worms. Detention center lights are on 24/7. Los mosquitos parecen elefantes. The mosquitoes, he says, are the size of elephants.
That's when I started thinking it was fake.
Él es residente permanente, sí. Izquierdo's partner, Katia, says he's a permanent resident who was arrested last week. First taken to TGK, then to Miramar, and finally to the Everglades facility.
Good morning, sir. You speak English?
No. Here is Izquierdo in bond court last Thursday.
You're charged with aggravated assault with deadly weapon and battery.
The police report says it all has to do with a violent dispute with a tow company worker who was trying to repossess a jet ski. Now back to the call. No te sacan afuera aunque sea un minuto a coger aire. Complains they're not allowed to go outside and the tents are freezing.
Yeah, so I don't know. You think that sounds real? The source made it seem like it's real. Some of the audio made me think it was fake.
Yeah, I just don't know. I don't know. And I think maybe it's in choice and translation. Like, okay, how am I going to translate this authentically, or am I going to, I don't know.
Lean in on the accent?
Yeah.
He did sound like he was leaning in on the accent.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. You never know with the internet. I do know that there's been a story going around that a lot of people are debating, this time calling for mass amnesty. Charlie Kirk first brought it up, saying that people in the Trump orbit are pushing for mass amnesty. And then yesterday, we got some pushback from that story from one Secretary Brooke Rollins, who says, no, mass amnesty is not on the table for illegal aliens. And a lot of people are saying that this is being pushed by business leaders in back circles, and that they want farm workers and hotel workers and restaurant workers to get mass amnesty. Brooke Rollins said yesterday that there will be no amnesty.
I think I answered the second question, where we are on farm labor, a little bit earlier. But what I will say is that Lori Chavez DeRimmer is our Secretary of Labor. And the H-2A visa program, all of the programs that inure number two, moving in seasonal ag workers are under Secretary Chavez DeRimmer. She has been working around the clock with her team. I think we'll probably hear a little bit more about this today, and the conversations will continue. But I can't underscore enough, there will be no amnesty. The mass deportations continue, but in a strategic way, and we move the workforce towards automation and 100% American participation, which again, with 34 million people, able-bodied adults on Medicaid, we should be able to do that fairly quickly. Thank you.
So she says no mass amnesty, but she did say what they're going to do is have H-1VA visas, and that sounds just like amnesty with extra steps. So there's that. Not a huge fan of that, to be perfectly honest with you. I will say, though, that we've had a lot of net jobs and gains since January. American-born workers entering the workforce plus 2 million. Foreign-born workers minus 543,000. So we are seeing less foreign-born workers hired, more Americans hired since Donald Trump has taken office. That's huge. Trump also poured cold water on the amnesty idea, sort of. He also leaned in on the H-1VA visas. It's like an H-1B for farm workers. But he said no mass amnesty. This was Donald Trump yesterday in the cabinet meeting.
There's no amnesty. What we're doing is we're getting rid of criminals, but we are doing a work program. Do you want to explain that, please?
Yeah, this morning we talked about, of course, this was a top of mind question. This morning we talked about protecting the farmers and the farmland, but obviously this president's vision of no amnesty, mass deportation continues, but in a strategic way, and then ensuring that our farmers have the labor that they need. Secretary Chavez DeRimmer has been a leader on this. Obviously, this comes out of the Labor Department, but moving toward automation, ensuring that our farmers have that workforce, and moving toward an American workforce. So all of the above.
We've got to give the farmers the people they need, but we're not talking amnesty.
Not talking amnesty. We're just talking more H-1VA visas. Okay. All right. It does seem like there's been a push, a strong pull behind the scenes, especially when it comes to the farm workers. I mean, we saw the story a couple weeks ago that they were going to pull back on enforcement when it came to farm workers and hotel workers and restaurant workers. Then we saw them say, no, we're not pulling back on that. Don't worry. Then we saw the amnesty story, and now they're saying, no, we're not doing amnesty. Don't worry. Labor Secretary commented on this as well.
Well, the promises made by the president were that he was going to pay attention to the American worker, and that's why you're seeing American-born jobs be increased. When you look up at the last administration, as you mentioned, under President Biden, 50% of those jobs went to foreign-born workers. That's not a promise that the president made to the American people. He said, I'm going to focus on you. Every decision that the Department of Labor makes, and every decision in conjunction with this administration puts the American worker at the pinnacle of every decision, and that's what's important to them, to know that they're being put first. He attended the steelworkers mill. I was with him there. I have been to the RV capital in Indiana. I have been to Michigan. I have been to Pennsylvania. Manufacturing jobs, the investments there on the ground. I've worked closely with the other secretaries. Lee Zeldin and I are talking about deregulation. The Department of Labor just took 63 deregulation actions in order to cut the red tape so that companies can invest more so these jobs can grow. That's what they wanted to see. That was the promise that the president made to the American people, and that's what he's delivering on.
And again, American-born workers are definitely feeling a boon, plus 2 million since January. Foreign-born workers down 543,000 since January. But this needs to remain a focus. We have a lot of Americans in this country that deserve a good-paying wage and shouldn't be replaced by foreign-born workers, no matter what kind of visa we're talking about. We need to get away from that. Steve Bannon commented on that as well yesterday. A lot of talks on the amnesty idea being floated around.
It means all people, as Charlie Kirk said, everyone here illegally has got to go home.
Yep.
There can't be any amnesty for anybody. Everybody here illegally has to go home. They have to go home. They have to get in line and come in legally. And guess what? On the legal side, we want to do away with some of that too.
Yep.
There's just too many. There's not enough. You have 12 million STEM graduates in this country that don't have jobs. Until every STEM person has a job, why would I let another foreigner in this country to take their job? Why low-skilled wages are increasing under President Trump because you're restricting people coming into the country. But until their wages are better, why will we still allow the illegal aliens to stay here? If you deport them, their wages are going to go up. And guess what? That's not going to be the end of the world. Wall Street will survive. It's low-skilled workers. It's not going to break you. I understand the billionaires that call you now don't have people to cut their grass and do their lawns and clean their pool and clean their house and be nannies to the kids because they don't pay attention to the kids. How do I know that? I see them at these universities where they don't know anything except they hate America. I don't know. Maybe they hate America because their parents didn't raise them. I don't know. And quite frankly, I don't care. They all have to go.
Amen. It's 11:23, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. On the way, have you seen the LA traffic maps recently? Have you seen the LA traffic maps recently?
No, I haven't.
All right, we'll talk about the LA traffic maps when we get back. It's 11:23 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Joe Biden's doctor says he won't go along with Congress as it investigates the former president's mental decline. And the Trump administration is taking legal action against California. Those stories coming up at 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Joan Jones. 1127 Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. All right, so we talked about... I said I wanted to bring up the LA traffic maps. So I don't know if you've been seeing this on X. I've been seeing this every day now for the past few days. And what you're seeing is an individual posting the traffic map of what's going on in LA during times when it used to be peak traffic. And he's like, what's going on in LA? There's no traffic. There's no traffic. Charlie Kirk quoted it and said, "This is your country on mass deportations." The original guy that posted the traffic map, Andy Swan, he said, "Few understand this, but when you look at this traffic map in LA and the decrease in volume because of the mass deportations and the pressure that's putting on the illegal alien population, but when you look at this map of traffic, also understand this is a map of the ER. This is a map of health insurance, car insurance, housing availability, and public school quality. Because when these roads are jammed, so are all those critically important services." It's such a great summary of what it could be if we get this mass deportation operation done. The overcrowding in some of these major cities will cease to exist when you remove the foreign invaders. And it's not just the overcrowding on your streets. It's the overcrowding in your hospital. It's the overcrowding in the ER. It's the overcrowding when you're looking for an apartment. And it's an overcrowding at your kid's public school as well. Definitely eye-opening. If you're watching on the stream, I mean, you see that. It's wild. It's absolutely wild. This is your country on mass deportations. 11:30, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. President Joe Biden's former White House physician has pleaded the fifth, saying he won't cooperate with the House Republicans investigating Biden's health spiral while in office. Dr. Kevin O'Connor invoking doctor-client privilege in this morning's appearance before the House Oversight Committee. The Trump administration announcing this morning it's suing the California Department of Education and the state's Interscholastic Federation over Title IX violations. The administration wants the court to stop the state from allowing males to compete in women's sports. On Monday, both those groups sent letters to the White House denying the administration's demands. A 19-year-old Nashville man is about to undergo his seventh surgery in 2 weeks after being hit by an ambulance while crossing Murfreesboro Pike. WSMV4's Steve Mailing says a GoFundMe has been started for Travis Crutcher.
Crutcher was attempting to cross Murfreesboro Pike on June 22nd. He waited for the light to turn from green to yellow, then began to cross after one car stopped and waved him on. Crutcher claims he didn't see the ambulance coming and had his headphones in. The report says the NFD ambulance was going 45 miles an hour.
The driver of the ambulance claims Crutcher darted across the intersection right before he was hit. Shares of the chip-making company NVIDIA jumping more than 2% on Wall Street, making it the first company ever to top $4 trillion in market value. NVIDIA has profited heavily from the growing demand for AI hardware and chips since the launch of ChatGPT in late 2022. That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, it's Chris Hand here from my friends at the Glock store in Nashville. We are so lucky to have these guys in town. One of the reasons is that the Glocks are the most popular handgun in America, and it's the most popular because of the wide availability of custom and performance parts. And if you need those custom or performance parts, you can find them at the Glock store. Competition triggers, night sights, extended controls, mag wells, red dot optics. I could go on and on and on. But I won't. Rest assured, if you need it, it's going to be at the Glock store. The Glock store carries it, and they'll install it for you for free while you wait. Yeah, that's right. If the Glock store is open, they got a gunsmith on duty, and that certified gunsmith is going to install whatever parts you purchase to customize or enhance your Glock for free while you wait. There's a lot of reasons like the Glock store. Free parts installation is just one of them. You're going to find even more reasons to like the Glock store when you visit. Minutes from the airport, worth the drive from anywhere, always open online, glockstore.com. .11:36 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm Chris Hand. Lightning round is on the way. Get ready for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. Before we get to the lightning round, though, story here that definitely deserves your attention. Laken Riley's murderer could get a new trial after a judge grants a mental evaluation. Infuriating. Understand that it is only by the grace of God that this monster is even still alive, right? Like, I would prefer mob justice personally, but we live under a system of law and order. It is only by the grace of God this guy's still alive. And some judge is now saying that he may not have been fit to stand trial. Jose Ibarra was sentenced to life without parole November of 2024 for Riley's murder. He attacked her while she was jogging on the University of Georgia campus on February 22nd, 2024. She was in the nursing program at Augusta University. Ibarra was found guilty and sentenced by Judge Patrick Haggard. That same judge ruled Thursday that a mental health evaluation should be conducted after Ibarra's appellate attorneys questioned his competency during his original trial. The defense now alleges that Ibarra may have been mentally unfit to participate in his own defense or to knowingly waive his right to a jury trial. This is insanity. Insanity. Now, let's play this out. If he is mentally unfit, it highlights even more so the insanity of the wide open border policy of Joe Biden for 4 years. The Democrats welcomed these lunatics in. The Democrats allowed these lunatics to roam freely on our streets and murder our daughters. It's insane. According to the New York Post, Ibarra's attorney argued that he is potentially suffering from congenital deficiency, which would render the client incapable of preparing a defense and standing trial. They also asserted that he lacks the mental capacity to understand the nature and object of the proceedings, and that this condition may have existed both during the commission of the crime and during his trial. Ibarra's original defense team did not request a mental evaluation before trial, an omission his appellate attorney now claims could have critically affected his decision to be tried solely by a judge rather than a jury. Haggard was the judge who delivered both the verdict and the sentence. Prosecutor Sheila Ross countered that no evidence of mental incompetence emerged during trial proceedings. However, she did not oppose the request for a mental evaluation, instead deferring the decision to Haggard. Haggard wrote in his order, the mental competence of Ibarra has been called into question, and this court has found it appropriate for an evaluation to be conducted at the public expense. Once again, an illegal alien costing the public. The judge ordered that an evaluation be conducted either at the Georgia Department of Corrections facility or at a designated hospital, emphasizing that the evaluation must determine whether Ibarra was fit to stand trial in the past and whether he can currently participate in his appeal. Should updates become available on this case, we will bring them to you immediately. It is insane. It's insane. Again, the only reason this individual is even alive is by the grace of God. It's 1140 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris, and it is time, my friends, for the one, the only, the lightning round.
It's the lightning round with Chris Hand.
Got a lot of stories for you today in the lightning round. Any last-minute hot takes that you got for any stories we've talked about or haven't talked about? 615-737-9986. 615-737-9986. We got a lot of stories for you today in the lightning round. A lot. I got a story here. I got one. Diabetes Barbie. Diabetes Barbie.
What was that?
Diabetes Barbie.
Sorry, louder for those in the back.
Diabetes Barbie.
Ha.
Diabetes Barbie. Diabetes Barbie.
How about new?
That's what I'm saying. I saw. I don't even remember who did it, but I was doing the doom scrolling on social media last night,
as one does.
And some guy, it was like some suggested for me. Like I always get like red-pilled parenting accounts suggested to me.
Yeah.
Some guy's like, if they say that we need to normalize it, don't. And I kind of tend to lean that way.
Yeah.
If they say it needs to be normalized, don't. There's a lot of news about the youth and diabetes today. What is it? 1 in 3 have pre-diabetes.
Yeah.
It's insane. This is really the crux of the MAHA movement, how unhealthy our children are. And now it seems like Mattel wants to normalize it. Now, I'm not completely against this, but I'm not buying anybody a diabetes Barbie. No. Hundreds of thousands of children have type 1 diabetes. Instead of focusing on the cause and how to fix it, Now there's a Barbie who has it too. It's okay. Diabetes Barbie. Here, I'll put it on the screen for you in case you're watching on the stream. There's Diabetes Barbie. She looks great. Everybody's excited about Diabetes Barbie. The new Barbie comes with an insulin pump, a glucose monitor, and snacks to help her control her blood sugar. Again, I get that the kids are dealing with this. I don't want to knock it too hard. But it seems like it'd be better off focusing our time and resources on fixing it.
Yeah.
Because diabetes is self-inflicted, right?
Well, so you got to look at it. You said type 1. Type 1 is born with.
Okay.
Type 2 is gained through lifestyle.
Got you.
So that's the big thing to understand.
So it's not a self-inflicted diabetes Barbie.
No.
It's a born with diabetes
It's born
Barbie.
with diabetes.
All right, that makes me
or
feel
developed
good.
through growing, but it's not a diet lifestyle version. Like type 2 is that, but still, like most of our kids these days, it runs in my family. I could possibly get diabetes in my family if I don't change anything, and that's what I'm working on.
Dude, I know what I'm getting you for Christmas now.
Uh-oh.
I changed my mind on buying one of these things.
If Chris gets me a diabetes Barbie, I will bring it in on studio, and every shot that I'm in, it'll be there.
It's going to be unwrapped on camera.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Wait, just forget that I said it because I want you to be surprised.
Said what?
Exactly.
Sorry, what are we talking about?
Got another story here for you in the lightning round. This one's pretty cool. I don't know. Maybe I should tell my pastor about this. IRS has announced that pastors and churches can endorse political candidates from the pulpit. This is a big story in the lightning round, my man. This is a big one. This is a big one. The IRS said on Monday that churches will be able to endorse a political candidate, which is funny because it seems to me that only conservative churches have been unable to endorse a political candidate. Because if you look at some of those fancy Methodist churches with the rainbow flag out front, it's like, yeah, we know. We get it. It's also not a church. Anyway, the move from the agency is a reversal of a longstanding rule that tax-exempt nonprofits cannot be engaged in political activity. In a court filing to settle a lawsuit brought by 2 Texas churches, as well as an association of Christian broadcasters, the agency said that churches could endorse political candidates, per the New York Times, writing in the filing that it would be like a family discussion concerning candidates and are a private matter. Thus, communications from a house of worship to its congregation in connection with religious services through its usual channels of communication on matters of faith do not run afoul of the Johnson Amendment as properly interpreted, the IRS added in a motion that was jointly filed by the agency as well as plaintiffs. The filing asked that a federal judge bar the Trump administration, as well as any other White House afterwards, from reversing the rule change. The National Council of Nonprofits, which is an association representing 30,000 organizations, took issue with the move from the IRS. The group's president, Dianti Yentl, saying that the move was not about religion or free speech, but about radically altering campaign finance laws. The decree could open the floodgates for political operatives to funnel money to their preferred candidates while receiving generous tax breaks at the expense of taxpayers who may not share those views. Oh, weird. You mean like my tax dollars going to Planned Parenthood for abortions? No, it's different. Oh. Okay. Got it. But anyway, your pastor can endorse a political candidate now. Now it's weird. I don't know if this really needed to happen in 2025. I'm glad it did. But I think a lot of the political issues that we deal with are very much spiritual, and there's always been a workaround when you're dealing with the world through a biblical view. It's very easy to take a stance on abortion. It's very easy to take a stance on transing our youth and not have to endorse a political candidate, but making your stance known and biblical, and then your congregation can figure it out after the fact because everybody's pretty much hip to the game at this point. But this is a big deal. It's a big deal. I wanted to bring it to you in the lightning round. Got another story in the lightning round. This time, it's about artificial intelligence. Have you heard about AI Rubio?
No.
You haven't heard about AI Rubio?
I haven't, but I'm intrigued.
Dude, this is a wild story.
I believe it.
So AI has come so far, which many people online are inferring that's how we got the Epstein cell video. I don't know. AI has come very, very far. Very, very quickly.
Yeah.
And that also means that the military probably had this capability 10 years ago. Anyway, an imposter using artificial intelligence was making phone calls to world leaders, mimicking Rubio's voice.
Interesting. Whoa.
Isn't that insane? An imposter using AI to mimic Secretary of State Marco Rubio's voice has been sending voice as well as text messages to foreign as well as U.S. officials in Rubio's style of speaking and writing. Spooky. U.S. authorities don't know who the person is who has been linked to the instances of AI mimicry, according to the Washington Post. However, they believe that the imposter is trying to manipulate government officials with the goal of gaining access to information or accounts, the outlet said, citing a cable sent to the State Department employees from Rubio's office. The imposter has contacted at least 5 non-department individuals, including 3 foreign ministers, a U.S. governor, and a member of Congress, the cable added, which was dated July 3rd. The incidents of impersonation started in mid-June, where the imposter used the display name of Marco.Rubio at state.gov to create a Signal account. However, that is not the correct email address for the Secretary of State. The actor then left voicemails on Signal for at least 2 targeted individuals, and in one instance sent a text message inviting the individual to communicate on Signal, the cable stated. The State Department said that it would carry out a thorough investigation and continue to implement safeguards to prevent this from happening in the future. This comes as there have been other instances of officials being impersonated by bad actors. Someone was able to breach the phone of the White House Chief of Staff, Susie Wiles, and then placed calls to senators, governors, and others in the country. That impersonation led to an FBI investigation.
Whoa.
No word on where this is going. So, smart money. Who you got? China, Norks, North Korea, Best Korea?
I think it might be a Nigerian prince trying to sell a bunch of gold. I'm just thinking.
He keeps getting away with it, too.
He can't believe he's doing it.
He keeps getting away with it. Got another story for you in the lightning round. This one's insane. And I don't know. I'd love your input on it. Joan talked about this earlier in her newscast. A Georgia dad has been arrested. He's been arrested. You throw the B-roll up. So this Georgia dad, he's just a dad. He's just a great dad. Just a top-notch individual, loving father. Left his 2 toddlers in a car in a Georgia mall to roast.
Oh, okay. You're being a little facetious there.
Yeah. He left a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old in the back seat of his car while he went and gallivanted around the mall.
What?
117 degrees. He was in the mall. They were in the parked car for about 40 minutes. By the grace of God, a good Samaritan noticed these 2 kids in the back seat, called authorities. Police got there. They smashed through the window. If you're watching this on the stream, I know that the parents in the audience are going to notice something about the back seat of this car with these 2 kids. The kids are aged 2 and 1. Now, I don't know. Are you noticing what I noticed instantly about the backseat of that car with the 2 and the 1-year-old?
Yeah.
The 2-year-old is not in a car seat.
Nope.
The 1-year-old is in a booster seat.
Yeah, not even supported. Whoa.
There's a lot going wrong with this. So
that's just wrong.
The father, Jaquan Dixon, left them in the car parked for about 40 minutes while he went to the mall. When he finally returned to the car, he was immediately arrested. Good. He was charged with 2 counts of second-degree cruelty. The kids are 1 and 2 years old. Now, okay, plan this out with me. What should happen to the dad, right? Like, is the course of action to remove the kids from this custody? Are the kids better off in foster care? If they throw the book at this guy, and he's charged with 2 counts of second-degree cruelty, under Georgia law, he could face not less than 1 year, no more than 10 years. So since he was charged with 2 counts, the maximum penalty he could face would be 20 years in prison.
Wow.
Do you want to see 20 years in prison for that dad? Is it the right move to remove the kids and put them in foster care? Because this is what I struggled with last night. I'm like, yes, awful, terrible. Would it be worse if they were in foster care? Is there the potential for it to be worse? Or do you say, no, you got to get those kids out of there? I'm so torn on this.
Especially just because you don't know what the other family situation is. And so it's like, oh, is there any other family that could take them? If they're with this guy, I kind of doubt it.
Yeah, I'm with you. 20 years in jail, you think that's fair?
At least.
I mean, I think that you could make the case that that's an attempted manslaughter.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's neglect. It's that makes me mad.
Yep. It makes me infuriated. Throw the book at him. It's 11:53. That does it for the lightning round. We'll check in with Chad Benson on the way. See what he's got coming up on the Chad Benson Show right here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Are angels real or a figment of the imagination? Angel means messenger. Angel or angels are mentioned over 350 times in the Bible, and because all Scripture is God-breathed, we know that angels are real and were created to glorify and to serve God. When Joseph doubted how Mary became pregnant and that she was to give birth to Jesus, an angel of the Lord appeared to him in a dream. Do not be afraid. The child within her has been conceived by the Holy Spirit. Angels bring God's messages to people, protect God's people, offer encouragement, give guidance, carry out punishment, patrol the earth, and fight the forces of evil. But there are also bad angels. Satan is an angel of high rank and led many angels in a rebellion against God. Although angels are powerful, they are not to be worshipped. Learn more about good and bad angels by scanning the QR code.
11:58 Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Chad Benson in studio.
What's up?
What you doing, man? What'd you talk about today?
We're going to talk about a lot of different things. Carnival cruise is racist. That's pretty fun.
Oh, I saw that.
That's pretty. I got some good audio with that. This is super racist. I was reading about it. It's like, wow, I can't believe how racist they are. Talk about that. We're going to have some fun with a lot of different stuff. Talk a little bit more about Epstein. And now that we're finding out more about the whole flood incident and the tragedy, some of the stuff coming out about they had 20 times they had meetings about whether or not to put an alarm system in. And they, even in April, they said, nah, we'll be okay. I mean, that's the stuff that you go, oh, okay, you want to point fingers at the city council and the people that were handling it. Not Trump, not the state of Texas, because that's not their job. And they say they'll come out and do it now. That's hindsight.
Yep. You're absolutely right. And then do you see, what is it? Eric Swalwell is calling for an investigation into Trump.
Fang Fang?
Yeah. Chuck Schumer is calling for an investigation into Trump. And it's like, what are we doing here? Meanwhile, there's a real-life scandal with the Austin fire chief not sending his firefighters down there. Nothing.
Yeah.
They don't talk about that.
No, but because it's all about Trump. And you're not trying to get to the bottom of something and go, how do we fix this? Your goal is score points on the internet, win one for my tribe, and move on. You don't care about what happens outside of that.
No. They're doing the whole Rahm Emanuel, never let a crisis go to waste.
That's right. That's
100%.
100%.
Chad Benson's in next. A lot more Super Talk on the way. It's 11:59 Super Talk 99.7 WTN.